In the quiet town of Niles, Ohio, where neighbors still wave from their porches and children ride their bikes without fear, lived a woman whose kindness was known by all. Marie Belcastro Gigi, as her great-grandchildren called her, was 94 years old, 4 feet 8, 85 pounds, but with a heart so large it filled every corner of her modest home on Cherry Avenue. She was the kind of person you don't forget, the kind who brought cookies to your doorstep, slipped a few dollars to the neighborhood teen for mowing her lawn, and always asked about your family before talking about her own. She had lived alone since her husband passed, but never truly alone because love surrounded her. And yet, it was in that very house, filled with warmth and prayers, that an unthinkable horror unfolded. March 31st, 2015 began like any ordinary day. Marie's daughter, Deborah, had taken her to the bank and spoken to her several times on the phone, but by 5:25 p.m., something felt wrong. When Deborah arrived at 509 Cherry Avenue, the front door looked like it had been forced open. Inside, something was terribly off: bottles of alcohol, blood on the landing, her mother's purse spilled out, but no sign of Marie. The search led Deborah to her childhood bedroom, and there, taut on the floor, curled in the fetal position, was her mother, naked from the waist down, motionless, blood still wet on her back. That image, a mother discovering her own mother like that, is something no one should ever carry. But Deborah will carry it for the rest of her life. Not far from the scene, police were dealing with something equally disturbing: a teenage boy covered in blood, wearing only socks and underwear, babbling incoherently. "They're going to kill me for this." His name was Jacob Larosa. He was only 15. Just hours earlier, he'd been released from juvenile detention. And now he was the prime suspect in one of the most violent murders the town had ever seen. How does a child become capable of such cruelty? Jacob's story was marked by chaos, a broken home, early signs of behavioral issues, untreated mental health conditions, and substance abuse before the age of 12. He had thrown a mason jar at his little stepsister, run from home dozens of times, and been arrested repeatedly. His father slept with a gun under his pillow out of fear of his own son. Was this a boy failed by the system, or a boy beyond saving? It's the question that still divides people today. Jacob was charged with aggravated murder, burglary, attempted rape, and robbery. Prosecutors wanted life without parole. His lawyers fought to suppress evidence: blood-stained underwear, a washcloth, nail scrapings. But the court ruled the evidence stood. Witnesses testified Jacob had bragged in detention, saying he beat Marie with a flashlight and wanted to hide her body for later. It wasn't just a crime. It was a desecration of someone who had shown him only kindness. Marie Belcastro was the kind of neighbor we all hope to have, the kind of grandmother every child deserves. She lived 94 years with dignity, with faith, with purpose, only to have her life snuffed out in a way that defies understanding. Her great-granddaughter Angelina later said, "She was an angel on earth, and in every sense she was." In 2021, years after Marie's death, a new Ohio law gave juvenile offenders like Jacob the chance at parole. For her family, and it was like reopening a wound that had just begun to scar. What about their potential, their stolen years? One parole hearing, then another 5 years later, and again, and again. No amount of courtroom victories can erase that fear that one day he might walk free. Marie Belcastro did everything right. She gave, she forgave, she trusted, and still she paid the ultimate price. If there's anything we must learn from this, it is that kindness, as beautiful as it is, must walk hand in hand with caution. That some people, no matter how young, no matter their past, carry darkness inside them too great to ignore. Marie's light will never be dimmed by what happened, but let us remember her not for how she died, but for how she lived, full of laughter, love, and unshakable faith. And may she be the last victim of a system too slow to recognize danger even when it lives next door.